Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English. It is already 2025, just 5 more years to go before we can actually complete the target year for all the Sustainable Development Goals. Out of these 17 goals, it is indeed the goals number 1 and 2, zero poverty, zero hunger, that predominate the development discourse across the world. Now, with just 5 more years to go until 2030, a commitment that so many countries had taken under United Nations SDG, that we shall be able to eradicate hunger from the world, that is Sustainable Development Goal 2. Zero hunger everywhere in the world by 2030. But today, as the latest report of Global Hunger Index 2025 has been announced, the reality doesn't look very promising. There are more than 56 countries which are very unlikely to achieve the target of zero hunger by 2030. India itself has not registered a great performance. So things are still pending. There is so much more work to do when it comes to eradicating poverty and hunger. So here comes the latest report on Global Hunger Index 2025. And before we look at the report, this is also a grim reminder of how in 2021, a very famous organization called the Oxfam had released a report that was very viral that time. The report spoke about the 3C phenomena behind global poverty. And the 3C were conflict, COVID, climate change. Today, as per the report of the Global Hunger Index, which is basically an annual jointly published report, once again, the Oxfam report is coming under picture that indeed it is because of ongoing conflicts, ongoing global warming, failure of the world community to tackle climate change effectively, that so many people are still either hungry or malnourished. So, hunger, hidden hunger, deficiencies, malnourishment, all of that predominates across the countries of Asia, the countries of Africa mainly. So, what has been the finding this year? Well, the 2025 Global Hunger Index has shown a very negative tendency, which is that the world's progress towards Sustainable Development Goal number 2, eradicating hunger, is happening at a very, very slow pace because there are many countries, as I mentioned, 56 countries, which are still experiencing a very high grade of hunger, long term deprivation of food among people. It is very unlikely that they will achieve zero hunger by 2030. So, therefore, this report has highlighted the need for an urgent action once again. And you might wonder that despite so many food distribution schemes in Asian countries, including India, despite so much international help that is being given to war torn areas, into countries of sub Saharan Africa, and still so much hunger predominates? Well, the reasons are very complicated, from political to economic, but the reality is that hunger improvement has really not happened. And despite so many interventions by the government, by international organizations, the hunger levels in the world are still not very different from the hunger levels of 2016. So we are close to 10 years now since we registered an improvement. But from 2016 onwards, the improvement has been very, very slow. So, today, if you talk about the current status, you will see not only in terms of total number, the number of hunger has continued to be very high, but also there is a huge regional disparity. For example, in the 2025 Global Hunger Report, if you see, the overall score is 18.3 globally. But when you talk about the 2016 score, that was 19. So, how much difference have we really made? The difference is very moderate, and hunger is still classified as a moderate to high matter of concern for the whole world. Now, 42 countries globally are facing a serious, alarming level of hunger. Very recently, as the Israel Gaza conflict was happening, today we can say that okay, there is a ceasefire, there is a 20-point peace program in place after the Egypt conference. But just look at the situation maybe 1 week before. I mean, with constant war going on, and Israel blocking the entire West Bank and Gaza area, we saw how global food aid, medication was unable to be received by the victims who have become the victims of war today. And there are many such areas in the world, particularly the Sahel region, Africa, which is also known for acute humanitarian crisis. So it is this reason that 42 countries are facing serious, dangerous level of hunger. Seven countries, including Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC, Haiti, Madagascar. Madagascar was in the news just about 2 days before for the Gen Z protest and military taking over. So do remember that. Then Somalia, South Sudan, Yemen, all these have reported alarming hunger levels, and these also coincide with all the countries who have been experiencing a civil war or a military coup in the last few years. So, definitely, as per the Oxfam report, conflict is a major reason behind food systems being disrupted. Plus, there are 35 other countries where the hunger level is quite high. It is in the serious category, and the hunger has worsened in 27 countries as compared to 10 years before, that is 2016. So, which means all the progress that we had made in the last few years today seems to be stepping back a little bit. And then there is also the problem of regional disparity. Hunger is not just a global problem, it is also a spatial problem. It is a spatially diverse problem. When we say spatially diverse, there is an imbalance in the amount of hunger and malnourishment that communities face across the globe. Now, if you look at Africa, particularly the area that's below Sahara Desert, obviously we are talking about the Sahel region. It is this area that is mostly affected by a very, very high level of hunger. 6 countries in this region are facing alarming hunger levels, leading to death, leading to stunting and wasting among children, very high rate of child, infant, and maternal mortality as well. And then you look at South Asia. In South Asia, also, there are countries who are still struggling with moderate to serious hunger levels. Then it is West Asia, North Africa, Latin America. They have seen very slow progress. So these countries also haven't registered much progress in the last few years in eradicating the problem of hunger. And then you talk about East and Southeast Asia, which are showing low hunger. So, yes, there is an improvement in the hunger level, but at the same time, the progress is not very dramatic. The progress is rather slow. There is massive income inequality. There is a huge intra-country, intra-state imbalance, which means within various countries also, it is income disparity which leads to certain communities being at the verge of serious hunger. And Europe and Central Asia have registered a good score. That means across Europe, across Central Asia, the hunger scores are quite low. So they have registered an overall progress and overall positive development. Now, whenever you talk about the hunger index, do remember it is absolutely in line with sustainable development too, to achieve zero hunger across the world by 2030. Now, it is an annual publication, a report that comes every year, that is published jointly by Concern Worldwide. And this is an Irish NGO. And then you have the Wet Hunger Hilfe. That is a German based NGO. So, since 2018, it is these agencies who have been publishing this peer reviewed report. Ultimately, it just calculates the hunger levels across the world based on certain criteria. Yes, it does measure multi-dimensional nature of hunger. Since 2021, ever since the world is shifting towards concept of multi-dimensional social problems. For example, look at poverty. Now, before 2020, poverty also was either measured on the basis of only low income, unemployment, or on the basis of calorie intake. But then in 2021, things changed dramatically. When UNDP and Oxford University, they together tried to create the multidimensional poverty index. And that redefined the way today we look at poverty and deprivation, because today we understand that poverty is not just about low income or low food intake. It is much more than that. It is about overall deprivation. And therefore, according to multidimensional poverty, we measure poverty across 12 indexes, which is a broad measurement. We see economic deprivation, we see food, we see education, sanitation, clean drinking water, access to clean cooking fuel, banking access, a concrete shelter. All these then become a part of calculating the multi-dimensional poverty index globally. In India also, it is Niti Aayog which is now publishing the MDPI, India's own multi-dimensional poverty index. Similarly, when it comes to hunger, with the advent of global hunger index, the nature of hunger today is measured in a very multidimensional manner. And that's why the global hunger index also takes into account four broad criteria. One is undernourishment, then comes stunting, wasting, and eventually we talk about mortality. So, what are these different words? Now, when you say undernourishment, we refer to the people whose total calorie intake, the amount of daily calories that they eat, is low as compared to what they physically need for being healthy. So that means total number of calories that you're consuming is very, very less. Okay, so that is undernourishment. At the same time, the GHI, the Global Hunger Index, also measures child stunting. And child stunting refers to those children below the age of 5 who have a low height for their age. And then comes the concept of wasting. Similarly, under 5-year children who have a very, very low weight for the height that they have, this is referred to as wasting. And both these are indicators of severe undernutrition. When you look at child stunting, it is about chronic undernutrition. Across 5 years of life, the child hasn't received nutritious food. Similarly, when you look at wasting, it is about acute, severe deficiency of nutrition and calories, resulting in the problem of wasting. When you add up these problems together, it leads to death among children. It leads to death of children. That's called child mortality. And this is about children who die before turning 5 years old. CMR, child mortality rate. It is, in fact, a mix of various problems, including unhealthy environments, poor sanitation, lack of vaccine, poor awareness regarding breastfeeding among deprived communities who lack maternal nutrition, and at the same time, it is also related to less intake of food. Now, this is what the Global Hunger Index measures. At the same time, today, when we talk of hunger, we also talk about concepts like hidden hunger. That's malnourishment, where you might be getting adequate number of calories, in fact, more calories perhaps than you need. But the nature of these calories are poor. You may be consuming empty calories. Perhaps you have a diet that's more carbohydrate or sugar oriented, and your diet lacks macro and micronutrition like essential fats, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. So, therefore, hidden hunger refers to malnourishment. And then we also talk about protein hunger, quite predominant in communities that usually do not have adequate access to protein diets. And that's also the reason why recently the government of India has been talking about providing more MSP, more minimum support price to pulses, India's own pulse revolution. So by 2030, the Indian government also is trying to become Atmanirbhar in pulse. After all, pulse is the common man's protein. Various kind of pulses like turs and urad and so many of them, legumes. So that is protein hunger. So all in all, hunger is a very complicated problem, while the GHI measures it across these four criteria. And if you talk about India's rank, then India this time is 102nd among 123 countries, which means India has a score of 25.8, and this is near serious hunger level. With a score of 25.8 in 2025 index, India needs to really work upon its own targets like the Poshan Abhiyan, like Atmanirbhar Bharat, like India's Atmanirbharta in pulses, because that's the need of the hour. I know after the Green Revolution, India did achieve food security, but that was about correcting the problem of acute hunger. Today, not only hunger, we also have the problem of hidden hunger, protein hunger. So, all that is necessary if we really want to have a healthy and a robust population. After all, India's main asset is human resource, the youth bulge that we have. And hence, addressing this problem is of a major concern today. So, usually, when we talk about the Global Hunger Index, it is calculated on a scale of 0 to 100, where 0 means no hunger, 100 refers to a bad, a very, very crucial form of hunger. That's a serious level. So, on that note, quickly a practice question. Consider the following statements regarding 2025 Global Hunger Index. 1. The Global Hunger Index 2025 score is 18.3, which shows moderate hunger. worldwide with little improvement from 2016. Second, Africa, which is the African area below the Sahara Desert Belt, continues to have highest number of hungry communities, which means high level of hunger. With 6 countries facing alarming, dangerous levels of hunger, 3, South Asia has improved. It has achieved low hunger level, while East and Southeast Asia report serious hunger. And 4, according to this report, 56 countries are unlikely to achieve low hunger status by 2030, which is also our United Nations target year for sustainable development, all 17 goals, in which SDG2 is about zero hunger. So, which of these statements do you think is or are valid? You can share your answer here. If you have opinions, perspectives, any analysis, any innovative idea, please feel free to share, because you know here in this platform we only believe in learning through interaction. So, every idea matters because that leads to another more enriching discussion. And before I leave, a quick reminder about the great Diwali Utsav sale. Yes, the Festival of Lights is here. A great time to rejoice and be happy, but also a time to calibrate our priorities. So, for those of you who are writing exam in 2026, that's next year, with limited time left, this could be a great opportunity. The FastTrack batch sale, a price that comes at only 7499. And what do you get? Various GS courses. GS Foundation P21 course, all GS courses, CSAT mentorship, essay writing, answer writing, current affairs, daily news. And of course, many more discounts you will get also on the optionals. So please use the codes live on the screen. 22nd October is when the sale is valid up to. And then you can also be assured that whether you're writing the exam in Hindi or English, or you like the bilingual mode of studies, we have all 3 options available here. But that's next year 26. And for those who are gearing up for 27, 28, for you also we have wonderful options as a part of Great Diwali Utsav. For 27, again if you type the code SPLIVE, you can take benefit of a price of only 18,999. Yes, this throwaway price for various GS Foundation courses. For getting many more discounts on optionals, plus once again, you have batches for morning, evening, October, Hindi, English, and English, all of that. And then, if your target year is 2028, then go for a full scale preparation. Prepare from the beginning, from the first fundamental concept with the mentors. Become a part of StudyIQ IAS family. And how can you do that? Just look at the sale. Look how it's enabling you various GS subjects, plus various languages option, various medium options. Valid 22nd October. Just use codes FLY. But then in case you want to have more clarity, that's also welcome. Just fill up a form. It's right here in the description box of this video. If you go and click on the form and fill it up, then we will get back to you. You can have your discussion, clarity, and then think about the sale. Okay, so tweak your preparation professionally with us, and wishing you all the best.